Hey everybody, this is the follow through. We're in Revelation 20 now. We're getting down to the end and some really cool stuff today. I want you to see it. We're in Revelation 20. We're going to do the first 3 verses today, and this again reminds us that evil often wants us to know that it's going to get us wherever we are, and it can just do whatever it wants. Today we see that Satan's limited, right? That this dragon is limited in what he can do, and here's why. Here's the first 3 verses of chapter 20. Let's check it out. John sees an angel coming down from heaven. He's holding in his hand the key to the bottomless pit and this great chain, right? It again. We can't even imagine what this chain would look like, and the whole idea is that this dragon's bound because he is seized by the angel, the ancient serpent who is the devil and Satan, and he is bound for 1,000 years. Now, the 1,000 years, a lot of folks will say that's a literal 1,000 years, right? Count them off, and that's the way it is. And often that'll be referred to as the millennium, right? And this gets kind of confusing, and this is where there's a lot of argument and a lot of difference within the church and over the years about this. And I believe, and I really think, if you look at Scripture and how the word 1,000 is used in the Psalms, it says 1,000 years is like a day to the Lord, and a day is like 1,000 years. Peter actually uses that same terminology quite often, over and over again. When you see how a word is used, and then you see it in a book like Revelation, you sort of say, okay, that gives me sort of a guide to how it's used. And so if it's used to denote like a long amount of time, I mean, it's a long time. 1,000 years is a long time. But it's not forever. Do you see what I'm saying? And so we believe, this is the time we're living in now, right? The millennium is from when Jesus ascended to this, right? This time period in Revelation, this image that we're getting, right? The devil just doesn't have free reign. We've seen that in all of the chapters leading up to this. And it's almost like John's going like, hey, Jesus is showing him that he is bound. He's kind of like a junkyard dog, and he's got a chain, and yeah, if you go within that chain, within that limit, he's gonna chew you up. But he can only go so far, right? He can bark, and he can foam with the mouth, and he can do whatever he wants. He can growl at you, he can look menacing, but he can't go any further than the chain. And that's kind of what the devil is. And he's going to try to lure you in, because he knows how far you can go. He knows his limit. And I want to ask you today, how does that help you to know that he's limited? To know that he's bound? That he's been thrown into the pit in verse 3, that it's been shut, sealed, so that he can't deceive the nations until that time. And he's going to be released for a little while. But to know that the Lord who loves us is the one who controls that. See, he's the one that's the ruler of all things, not the devil, not this dragon, not the deceiver. And I pray that God's the one ruling your heart. I pray that he's the one calling the shots, leading you, guiding you, and that we're listening, that you're listening, that I'm listening to what he's doing, and that we're remembering that he died for us, remembering the price he paid, the victory he won. And that's because that's where we're at. That's who we are, and that's where we're headed. Right? And the devil doesn't get a say in that. He's going to try, but he really doesn't have a say. He really doesn't determine where we're headed or what we're doing. All right? You have just an encouraging day, and just know that God is with you. Right? We'll talk to you next time.